Hi, good morning to everyone. My name is Reddy. I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of CSM in Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I would like to explain the subject machine learning. In this subject, I am going to be explain the topic sequential covering algorithm. Before entering into the topic, first of all, we need to understand what is meant by machine learning. As we know that machine learning, a machine can learn from the data or by the experience without explicitly programming. What is ML? Machine learning is a method of teaching computers to learn from the data, make decisions or predictions without being explicitly programming. A machine can learn from the data or by the experience without any programming. That is the concept of machine learning. Now, how a machine can learn? A machine can learn from the data or by the training experience. Generally, the data is in the form of tables or relations. By observing the data or by understanding the data, a machine can learn. So, in this concept, whatever the concept today we are going to be discussing, that is nothing but sequential covering algorithm. In this topic, the data is in the form of tables, but that data can be transferred into sets of rules. So, a machine can learn from the sets of rules. Learning sets of rules. It is a rule-based learning method in ML where a model learns sets of if-then rules from the data. So, by observing the data, a machine can form the if-then rules. So, by understanding if-then rules, it will learn something. These rules describe the relationship between input futures and output labels. What is the syntax of if-then rules here? If, suppose, we are considering one example like if fever is yes, and cough is also S, then disease is flu. So, if these two conditions are satisfied, then the decision is like a patient can have flu. By this way, if then rules are formed by understanding the data, which is understood by the machine. So, before going to be explain about the working process of sequential covering algorithm, first of all, we need to understand the data. Now, I took one example data, that is the data related to the emails. It is a simplified data set which will explain about the spam emails and not spam emails. See, here the problem is classifying the emails as spam or not spam. Target class is spam. So, what is the basic concept here? The problem is like classifying the emails. By observing the mails, we need to classify it as spam mails and not spam mails. This is a simplified data set. First of all, we need to understand the data set first. Here we do have two types of examples. Totally, we have 6 examples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, in these examples, whatever the output class, here output class is target class is spam. So, target class is yes, then it is a positive example. Target class is no, then it is known as negative example. So, first of all, we need to understand what is meant by positive example, what is meant by not positive example or negative example. Positive example means spam. Negative example means not spam. So, this is the data set. By this data set, by understanding this data set, a machine can learn sets of rules. Now, we will go through the actual topic, sequential covering algorithm. Here, sequential covering is a rule-based learning algorithm. It is a rule-based learning algorithm. It is used to learn a set of if-then rules, a set of if-then classification rules from the training data. By the training data, it will learn if-then rules. It is also called as separate and conquer approach. Why we are call it as separate and conquer approach? It will divide the data set into positive examples and negative examples. That's why it is called as separate and conquer approach. The algorithm learns one rule at a time. At a time, it will learn only one rule. By understanding the data, it will learn only one rule at a time. After learning that rule, whatever the examples are covered by that rule are removed from that data set. So, Each rule is constructed to cover maximum positive examples and minimum negative examples. It will learn the rules which covers the maximum positive examples. After a rule is learned, all the examples covered by that rule are eliminated from the dataset. This process is repeated until no positive examples are remain in the dataset. This is the sequential covering algorithm. Now we will go through the what is the working process of what is the working of algorithm. The algorithm involves a set of order rules, a list of decisions to be made. Step 1. First of all, we need to take one empty decisions rule set. This is the rule set. Learn one rule algorithm, it extracts best rule for a particular classify. After observing the training data, first it learn one rule that is to be placed in the rule set. Generally, the rule is in the form of this way. See, rule 1 equal to condition 1 and condition 2 and so on, condition ni, which is belongs to the class label y. Step 2. So if suppose the data set contains only positive examples, then there is no need of classifying the data sets. So in that case, all the classes are belongs to same class. So if all training examples belongs to the class y, suppose all the examples are belongs to the spam, all emails are related to the spam, then there is no need of classifying. In that case, the result is class y. That is positive example. Step 2b. Else, if all training examples are belongs to the not belongs to the class y, then there is no need of classifying again. All the examples are negative, all the examples are positive, then there is no need of classifying, right? So in that case, these are called as negative examples. Else, if suppose the data set contains some positive examples, some negative examples, in that case only we need to classifying the data by observing the rules. The rule becomes desirable when it covers majority of positive examples. Each time it learn only one rule, that rule covers only positive examples. When this rule is obtained, delete all the training data associated with that rule. Suppose the system learn one rule, that is R1. Whatever the examples are covered by this rule are eliminated or deleted from the data set to learn next rule. While going to learn second rule, that is R2, in that case, whatever the examples are covered by the rule 1 are deleted from the data set. This process is continuous until all the rules are formed or all the positive examples are covered in the data set. This is the process of sequential covering algorithm. Why we are call it as sequential covering algorithm? It covers one by one. That's why it is called as sequential covering algorithm. By observing this data set, by observing this image, we can easily understand how a sequential covering algorithm will works. This is the data set. This is the data set. This data set contains totally positive examples and negative examples. Here positive examples are rounded. We round the positive examples. Here see, in the initial stage, this is the empty rule set. First, after observing the positive examples, these positive examples covered by one rule, that is R1. Suppose R1 rule covers these positive examples, then R1 is formed, and these positive examples are removed in the next iteration. In the second step, next these positive examples are covered with the help of rule 2, that is R2. By using R2, we covered these positive examples. In the step 3, in the step 3, we removed first positive examples and second positive examples, and then we are forming next another rule, or a machine can learn another rule, that is R3, which covers these positive examples. In that case, this is one. Finally, we covered all positive examples. It remains only negative examples. Then we can stop here. After the completion of this process, we found three rules. We found three rules R1, R2, R3, which covers all the positive examples in the given data set. By this way, a sequential covering algorithm will work. Now we will go through the real-time example. This is the data set which is simplified for the emails. Suppose we do have number of emails, thousands of emails in our inbox. Now we need to classify it as spam mails and not spam mails. How can we identify a mail is legitimate or not legitimate? Based on the source of emails, and based on the characteristics of emails, we can easily identify it is spam mail or not. This is the simplified data set. Suppose an email contains win money, meeting, free offer, invoice, win price, project. These keywords, then those are considered as the spam mails. First of all, we need to identify which keywords are contained by the emails. Next, sender type. Based on the sender types, based on the links that email contains, based on these three characteristics, email contain words, sender type, and links. Based on these three keywords, a email can be classified as spam mail or not. See, first we observe first example. Number one, suppose email contains win money keyword, sender type is unknown, link is yes. There is a link in the email. In that case, that email is considered as spam mail. Yes. Next, suppose email contains meeting keyword, sender type is known, and there is no links. In that case, that email is considered as not spam mail. It is a legitimate, valid email. By this way, we are classifying the given data is, this is the data set what we have for the emails. Now, this email data set is given to the machine. Now, the machine can understand the data and form the sets of rules by observing the entire data set. Here, there are two types of examples, positive example and negative example. What is the main objective of sequential covering algorithm, which is learned by the machine? The main objective of sequential covering algorithm is it learn the rules from the data set and it form the rules. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, like that. Each rule covers only positive examples. Every time it covers only positive example. Now, after observing this data set by the machine, by the sequential covering algorithm, it will try to create the rule. Rule 1. By observing this data set, it will forms one rule. If email contains win money and free offer. If email contains win money, free offer, and sender type is unknown, then that email is spam. That is the first rule. See, applying sequential covering algorithm, step 1. Learn first rule. Find a rule that covers maximum spam emails and minimum non-spam emails. What is the rule 1? If email contains win money keyword and free offer and sender type is unknown, in that case, it is spam mail. So, this is the rule 1. This is the empty, in the initial stage, this is the rule set, empty set. This is the first rule, R1. What is the R1 here? If the email contains win money or free offer keyword, then and sender type is unknown, in that case, that mail is treated as spam mail. This is the rule 1. Now, we observe by this rule, how many examples are covered in the data set. When we observe the data set, that rule is covered only 2 examples. Rule this example and this example. See, win money and free offer. Sender type is unknown. The result is spam. So, rule 1 covers only 2 examples. Rule 1 covers 2 examples. That is positive examples. Okay. Next, what is the next rule 2? We need to form rule 2. Before going to learn rule 2, first of all, we need to remove the examples from the data set which are covered by the rule 1. After removing these two examples from the data set, how many positive examples are left in this data set? Only one positive example left. Remaining all are negative. We don't consider it. We consider only positive example. So now we need to cover this positive example. this positive examples. For that also we need to write another rule. Learn rule 2. This is the second rule. This is the data set. This is the positive example left in the data set. For this, or to cover this example, we wrote one rule. If sender type is unknown, and links no, in that case also spam, yes. Whatever the mail contains, sender type is unknown and link type is no, then that mails are also treated as spam mails. This is the rule 2. So now we covered all positive examples. Only negative examples are left. Rule 3. Rule 3 is default. What is that? If none of the above rules are applied, if suppose rule 1 is not applied and rule 2 is also not applied, then spam no. Okay. So final rule set. Rule 1 is if sender type is unknown and email contains promotional words, then it is spam mail. If sender type is unknown and links is also known, then spam is yes. Default is not spam. So after the completion of this sequential covering algorithm, we found 3 rules, that is R1, R2, R3. R1 and R2 are covers only positive examples. R3 is default rule. If suppose none of the examples are satisfied this rule 1 and rule 2, then that are belongs to the rule 3. By this way, a machine learning algorithm can understand the sequential covering algorithm to learn the sets of if-then classification rules from the given data set. So today we covered sequential covering algorithm, how it works to learn sets of if-then rules by using sequential covering algorithm. Thank you.